In the last few years, PSE has a new Easy 220 system in the cam for its spacers. So what this does is this allows you to adjust your cam position easily without having to fully remove the axle, put a bunch of washers on there, and then reshift it and get that limb all back together. Because a lot of times it's hard, especially when you have multiple washers feeding an axle through, especially when you've got the bow pressed. It's definitely easier if you fully depress the bow and you get everything aligned. But having a system that you can do this on without having to fully remove that axle is so convenient and so nice. And for any of you out there that I'm going to say are at an intermediate to upper level for tuning and understanding tuning, this is going to be an awesome system for you. If you're a dealer, this is very awesome for you, because if you have any issues with getting a paper tear exactly how you want while that arrow is running true down the center of the center flight, if you need to make any of those adjustments, this is going to be easy to do. So again, it's called the Easy 220 system. And the reason that it is because there are multiple size washers that have different thicknesses. So I can show you right here. Here's one that's one of the thicker ones, if I'm honest. And then they also have some that are very, very thin here. But what you need to know is the 220 means that your left and your right side spacer needs to equal 220. So like in this packet, and you can, if you're a consumer, you can buy one of these packets that have the different sizes and the tool. You can buy these from your PSE dealer. Otherwise, your PSE dealer also has these, so if there is any changes that need to be made, you can pay to have that done at your PSE dealer as well. But the way these are laid out is, you can see I have a 160 and a 60. So depending on what configuration you want, depending on where you want that cam shifted in your limbs, you want the left side and the right side to equal 220. Okay, so that's what it is. Now, full disclosure, most of these bows are going to come to you with a predetermined spacer system that equals that 220 with what we've found to have the best tunes. This is one of the things that I know that I do on any of the knock-on models, is I really focus on cam position so that it's getting the tune that I like without having to adjust them. But if you need to make an adjustment, and here's one example of why. If you have your arrow shaft going right down the center of your riser, everything looks perfect for your center shot, but then you go to shoot it through paper and you're getting a slight right tear, well, what you need to do is you'll need to shift your cams very slightly in that same direction, and it'll allow you to keep that real nice center shot, but also get the paper tune where you need it to go. So here's how easy it is. If you've got one of these kits, and this is going to be important because you also then have one of these tools, then what you need to do is just simply take a little bit of pressure off the string. This is going to help your axle, if I'm honest. And once you take some of that pressure off on this tool right here, it's got a little hole right there. You also have a little hole that is on the piece, so you can see this is meant to just slide right in there, and then now you're able to pull that out. You can also see there's a little dog leg tab like that. They need to be in there so that that dog leg tab goes towards the limb, and that's just going to give you the space that you need to be able to grab it. So in this case right here, I'm going to go ahead and hook it on there, and I'm going to pull this out, shoot it across the floor. And now, if I wanted to put a different one in, I could also remove the other side. I can go to this thicker one now, and I can shift it. But again, the main important thing is it has to equal 220. Now, on some of these, depending on if people are trying to adjust cam lean, and you haven't got the lean adjusted that you need to out of your PBTS system, then sometimes just flopping these two from one side to the other can adjust your lean. So I'm going to do that right now. Now that I've removed that one side, see, I can move this cam pretty easily. I actually haven't really had to loosen this screw that's going through the axle. So I can slide this over. I can remove this other side now. Remove that other side. And now, if I wanted to, I could just put this over on this side. You know, in this case, if I was, for example, trying to address cam lean, I could adjust that. Or if I was trying to slightly move my cam to get rid of that little left hair and I wanted to get closer to the left side, then this is what I can do. And then I could put this side over here, snap that into position, and honestly, if these have been adjusted properly, you really don't need to retighten these axles. I always, once I've made an adjustment like that, I actually just like to snug it down just a touch, make sure it's good. And yeah, that's nice and tight. So at that point, I'll be able to hold the string, take the pressure off, and just like that, I've adjusted that cable system with this new Easy 220, the kits. Honestly, if you're someone that works on bows or works on any of your friends' bows, these little kits could definitely be something that you're going to be able to keep for a while, be able to work on these. Honestly, once they're in the place that they need to be, probably never going to have to touch these things again and again. These are coming out of the factory in the most average, perfectly tunable spot from the bows that we've set up prior to being shipped out. So that's how you do it. Super easy, and honestly gives you so many micro adjustments for your cam lean and also the cam center shot to give you that perfect tune through paper.